Yeah, the only way you learn is the hard way. You will never learn trading from a book. You can get trading ideas from a book, trading concepts from a book. But the only way you learn is to learn the lessons from yourself, from the pain of doing the wrong thing. From taking a loss or not taking a loss, or from missing out, or all of these things. They're very painful, all of them. And it's only from the pain that you can learn. You just have to learn the patterns. It's just the same patterns occurring over and over again. You have to look at thousands of charts. Everyone should do what I've been telling you guys to do for weeks and months. Just go through thousands of charts, thousands of stocks, and just look at the charts. Go back to the 90s, 80s even, for those stocks that have data. You'll see it's the same patterns over and over again. It's just so easy once you get it. It's super simple. Okay, it's not easy, it's hard. Trading is hard, but it's simple. You just have to learn the patterns and read the price action and listen to the market. Every stock is gonna stop you out sooner or later. Yes, we are pulling back a little bit right now, and it's when things pull back we see which stocks are strong and which ones are not. And if you're too scared, if you feel like, oh, I don't want to give back too much profits, just sell some into strength. Just sell some right here. IB? Yeah, IB also is pretty good. Still trailing Livongo? Yes. There's not been a reason to sell it yet. Guys, stocks don't go straight up. Just because it's having a down candle doesn't mean it's gonna go to zero. Let it pull back a little bit. It's gonna find support. And if it doesn't, you just sell it. Don't worry about these things. The Russell rebalance. Doesn't affect us. Guys, stick to the setups. It's not gonna affect us. Some things will go up, some things will go down. Adhere to your stops. Don't worry about the rebalancing. There's always something. There's always something. There's gonna be news, there's gonna be macro events, there's gonna be index additions, index deletions. Don't worry about them. Worry about your setups and your stops. Yeah, I learned it. I've learned a lot of hard lessons over the years. It's all noise, it's all bullshit. Tune out the financial media, tune out all media. They're not here to help you. It's all entertainment. You're gonna find out the important stuff anyways. Okay, FMC, I sold a third of my position, took out yesterday's lows, and also now it's breaking below the rising 10-day moving average. So I'm lightening down. This is how you lighten down on a momentum stock once they start breaking support areas. And if it closes below the 10-day, I'm gonna sell a bit more. And then I'm gonna use the 20-day as my final stop. This is how you do it. You never know how high these things can go, so you wait for them to start showing weakness. So if you guys are still in FMCI with me, from way lower, from 11 bucks, this is the time to start sizing down. 73% in 7 or 8 sessions. That's a big move. Guys, remember this day? It looked super scary, like on this reversal day here. Like even I panicked a little bit because I realized I had too many shares and I thought it was gonna pull back to like 50, 55 and I sold some into the weakness. Look at it now. This is why I use trailing stops, because no matter how high you think a stock is gone, you can always go higher. I've learned it the hard way. That's why I always trail some. There's like really like only 2 or 3 names that are showing that are not showing relative strength, and that's exactly what you want to see. These kinds of down days are golden. The down days will tell you which one of your stocks are weak and which ones are not. It's a gift. What is a melt up? A melt up is when the market goes higher, or a stock goes higher, just in a parabolic fashion. It just keeps going for a while. Especially with something that's already extended. That looks vulnerable to a pullback, but it just keeps going. That's a melt up. We've been very aggressive over the past few weeks and even months, and now is again a time to take a step back and just manage. It's like managing a garden. You pull the weeds and you water the flowers, like Peter Lynch once said. Hold the winners, sell the losers. Hold the ones that show relative strength, sell the ones that are not. It's like managing a garden. Trading is not about rocket science, it's about gardening. You don't need to be very smart, you just don't have to be dumb. Yeah, it's coming back. Yeah, it stopped me out. I lost like 35,000 on it or so yesterday. Yeah, but it's not going away. It's still intact on the weekly chart, and you know, if it sets up in a couple of days, I'll rebuy it. Because there's no, you know, this thing could go to 20, 25, 30 once it breaks out. It's just not going away. Do you ever buy on range retest when pullback days? I don't even know what it means. Range retest. If it breaks out of a range and it's a good setup, I will buy it. Yeah, guys, I remember that. Oh yeah, NVAX, man, I feel sorry for you guys. Holy shit, yeah, I remember that. Oh man, that sucks. I really feel for you. Yeah, I took out the opening range highs. Like, I went long. I know a lot of you went long. And then it had some news. Yeah, they were gonna raise 200 million. The stock briefly took out the lows of the day. It had like a mini flash. Like, it had a dip. It lasted only a few seconds. It was just some algos playing around. And those of you who had hard stops got stopped out. I thankfully didn't have a hard stop set on it yet. Man, I feel for you. Yeah, the stock is up. It's up over 60% since. Wow. Yeah, holy shit. Yeah, I understand why you feel salty. Yep, and that happens. This is the reason most people don't make it in the business. They can't handle these types of things. Instead, you know, they start revenge trading, they start chasing. You have to wait for perfect setup. Sometimes shit happens. You have to suck it up. You have to take a step back, regroup. And many people are just not able to do that. They can't take the pain. It's painful. Like, if I had gotten stopped out of this thing, after having a good size and a perfect entry, like, I would be salty too. Hard stop is when you put a stop in your trading platform, versus a mental stop, which is just a number you keep in your head. Like right now, I don't have any hard stop set on anything. They're all mental, and I only use hard stops when the price is close to my exit point. Like something like this Opus that I just sold half. I had a hard stop on it, so I didn't have to watch it. FMCI, I had a hard stop too. So I only use hard stops when the price is close to my stop area. Otherwise, they're all mental stops. There's no point in putting a hard stop on Workhorse at 479. Like the stock would have to go down 42% to hit it. Like it's not gonna happen in a flush. I also need to raise my stop a little bit. It's actually a pretty big move. Stop fishing? There is no such thing as stop fishing, guys. Get those conspiracy theories out of your heads. No one cares about your stops. There is no one out there gunning your stops. Algos are playing around all the time. Sometimes they hit your stops, sometimes they don't. There is no such thing. Yeah, easy stock trader. Like, yeah, exactly. The resetup doesn't have to be on the daily chart. Like, Nikola, for example, when we bought it 2 days ago, it didn't really trigger on the daily chart yet, but it did trigger on the 60-minute chart. You can clearly see these higher lows. You had this range, and then it broke out of that range, but it didn't broke out on the daily chart until yesterday, and that's where I added more. So sometimes you can see something on the 60-minute chart versus the daily chart and vice versa. Absolutely. Yeah.